Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Dana.
It's Prince Donnell.
And we want to give a special shout out to the Illest girls next door. Make sure you guys are tuning in and listening to their extraordinary podcast.
Right, because the name is super dope.
What's poppin'? Turn your speakers up.
Turn these speakers up.
You're locked into the Illest Girls Next Door
You can bump it in your stereo.
on BoominLive.com.
Hey, 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 give it, hey, 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 hey. It's on Monday, we wildin'. What up, y'all? It's your girl, Ricey, and you are now tuned in live to the Illest Girls Next Door, and we have a very special guest. I'm so excited, y'all. We got my baby girl here, Erica, creator and founder of OSUNTHEBRAND.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
What's up with you? It's been like how many years? Like
Girl.
3 years since we've seen each other?
Word. Where you, sis? Where you been at?
Girl, I've been here. I've been there. I've been everywhere. I'm like a Dr. Seuss book. Like, I just been everywhere.
Girl, I'm telling you, like, before we started this, I was just saying how I was so proud of you. I was like, yo, I was really scrolling through my gram, and I'm like, that's what's up.
Right?
When you see somebody who's from the West, where you be like, yo, like, we did it.
We did it. Hooterville. We did it. But let's talk about you.
Okay.
So you in school right now at Rutgers, right?
Yeah, I'm doing my dual program, so I'm doing my bachelor's and my master's in the 5 years for public administration.
What's that like?
Girl, someone is above me, moving me,
Of
because
course.
some days I don't even want to get out of bed, but like I just keep moving because I know I have a vision and I want it to come true, and I'm gonna do it.
Right.
I'm gonna do it. You can't keep complaining. You gotta just go out there and do it.
So what's this vision you speak of?
So, honestly, I see myself on so many boards. I want to work with the community. I'm all community driven ever since like we went to UVSO.
Yeah.
UVSO, y'all, if y'all don't know.
Shout out to UVSO.
Word,
Shout out Mr.
shout
Malik.
out, you feel me? They were an after school program, and they were basically a safe haven for kids in our neighborhood. And like ever since I've been there, like it really was a lot for me because I didn't have that outlet to go to. So going there, meeting other kids who were like me, growing up from where we were from, it was just like, yo, it was dope.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to inspire the people after me, the people before me. I want to inspire everyone. So I see myself working in a lot of different communities, especially like Newark, and just empowering them, especially the women in our community.
Right. So is that where your brand came from?
That's definitely where my brand came from. If y'all don't know, you got to follow our
You
Instagram.
shout it out.
Follow our Instagram, OSUNTHEBRAND. Basically, when I was 15 years old, I was sexually assaulted.
Oh, wow.
And so ever since then, I just been through like these traumatic relationships. And I'm like, is this, why?
Yeah.
Why me? Like, you feel me? You're like, okay, where is this coming from? And the brand is basically geared towards women who have experienced sexual assault, domestic violence, not even women, men as well, because we don't talk about that a lot.
Right.
But it's geared to victims who have experienced that type of trauma, you feel me? And basically, it's my love letter to them because the stuff that we sell is the stuff that I use to cope with what happened to me. So, for instance, we sell sage. Sage is like my biggest thing because some
Girl,
days...
I love me some sage. I'm so
Girl,
glad.
I actually brought you some.
Yo, because I know you be watching my stories, girl. I
be
sage
watching
every
your story.
girl.
But if they don't know what sage is basically a cleansing tool. So if you ever have somebody come up in your energy and you're just like, yo, y'all
Get out.
You get out. You burn yourself some sage, and then also incense. I use the incense when I'm meditating. I'm very into meditation now. And then we also sell intimate night garments, for instance, like silk nightgowns, and we also sell like silk boxer shorts for our men or people who identify as male, because we got to be gender inclusive. you feel me?
Yes.
So yeah, definitely. So those are the things that I use to cope. And so I wanted to basically put something out there that I believed in, and it wasn't just like, because a lot of times when people coming up with these companies, it's just stuff that they're just putting out there because just to put out. I wanted something that meant something to me. So sage is a part of my life. So I'm gonna give y'all a part
Girl,
of me.
it's part of mine.
Exactly.
Like once a week, and my mother be like, "What's that smell?" It's the energies.
It's my energy.
It's
You
the
feel me?
energy. If you smell it, that means you got some bad energy. If you don't like the smell, you stand right here so I can cleanse you real quick. Like we don't need none of that. So the name Oshun, just explain that.
So Oshun is an African deity.
Yeah.
So basically, that was one of the goddesses that I came to the most because I was listening to Beyonce, and then I was like, why is this woman always wearing yellow? Like, you know, you ever see her, she just be in yellow. And I was like, let me look that up.
She represents like fertility, right?
Yeah, so basically she means fertility, sexuality, intimacy, all the things that I lacked because of my sexual assault. You feel me?
Right.
So I was like, yo, if I can embody this, yo, who is Erica?
Yeah,
Who is Erica?
right.
Like, I have to change myself. So I started diving deeper into that. So I didn't necessarily pray to her because I am Christian. I guess you can classify me as Christian.
Okay.
Even though I don't say
We
that.
can get into it.
We can get into that. But definitely, I did start putting offerings to her. So, like, sometimes when I'm meditating, I envision her, and, like, that's what I want to be. So that's who I look up to.
Okay, so now you spoke of how you said you're Christian. Now, I have this debate a lot of times with people, like, especially my boyfriend, because he grew up in a Christian household. His mom is a minister. And I told him, you don't have to be religious to be spiritual.
That's a big one. That is a big one.
It is, because it's like people think like the spirit automatically means like Holy Ghost, the Holy Trinity, stuff like that. Like, no, like, mind you, I grew up Muslim. Like, that's all I wasn't born into the religion, but that's all I know. Like, yeah, we celebrated Christmas, we celebrated everything, but majority of my life is we celebrating Ramadan, we celebrating Eid, you covering, you fasting, you doing all of that. So as I started to get older, I started to ask a lot of questions because I wasn't really sure. Because I realized the way it was taught to me was not the way of the book, was not the way it was actually supposed to be taught to me. So I started to find other ways because I'm like, I always believed in a higher being. I always believed in God, but it's like, well, who is it? And it's like, is he there? Is he like, what is it? What is it?
Yeah.
So how did you get into your spiritual journey? Like, where did that come from?
So, one, I was sort of like how you just explained with your boyfriend. I grew up in a Christian household, like, I'm telling you, like, Bible beating Christian household, like, don't do that. Honor your father and mother.
Yeah.
Like, you feel me? They'll pull out a scripture. You're like, oh my God, this is too
Right,
much for
right.
me. So that's definitely how, you know, like the Sundays, every Sunday, Sunday service, that was me. And then after my sexual assault, I'm just like, what kind of God would allow this? I found myself asking myself that a lot. I'm like, what kind of God would allow me to go through something as traumatic as this and then to keep going through something as traumatic as this? And that's when I didn't really dive deeper into, like, my spirituality. So I wouldn't say that. So actually, I wouldn't say that I'm Christian. I would say that I'm spiritual.
Yes.
Because I didn't dive deeper into my spirituality until afterwards when I was like, there's a God there who put this in place for me to be in a new season. So this thing I went through, it's only one door to where I'm going. Like, you
Right.
feel me? So it was just like, I definitely came into my spirituality out of ignorance because I was just like, the fuck? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's when I started reading, and just, like, it was a lot of reading for me because, like you said, I actually read the Bible page from page, and I was like, okay, I don't really
Right.
agree with that.
Right.
Or, like, I would remember stuff that, like, sometimes, like, my pastor would say, and I was like, I don't think he meant that. Like,
Right.
And that's when I just started seeing that this whole thing about who we want to be, it's up into interpretation.
Yes.
The Bible, I don't want to disrespect anyone's religion,
Right,
but
no.
the Quran, that's all up into interpretation. You feel me?
I swear, I was literally just having this conversation with my boyfriend the other day, and he was listening, but I could tell he was getting, like, agitated.
tight, and
Yeah,
it's
he was
like-
getting mad, and I'm like, baby boy, like, because first of all, you know, I have my healing crystals, I do my sage, and people be like, oh, that's witchcraft,
Oh.
but people people always automatically associate witchcraft with something bad, and it's like, it's not bad unless you make it bad.
Unless you're making it bad.
Like, it's
and
not
that's my
like
whole thing.
the
Like,
healing crystal. I use that stuff to heal myself and to bring positive energy. I don't get what's bad
my thing
about
is,
that.
if it's helping me, if it's making me into a better individual, why does that bother you? And it's because we're in this Western mindset that Christianity is the only thing for us. Christianity is where we must lie.
I love you, yo. Like, I've been waiting to have this conversation with a like-minded individual for so long. Like, I was trying to tell him, like, yo, Christianity, and no disrespect to anybody, Christianity is a white man's religion.
It is.
Like, why do you think Jesus is, in all the pictures, he's white with blonde hair and blue eyes? Now, mind you, I grew up Muslim. In the Bible, it says Jesus had hair like wool, correct me if I'm wrong, and skin like olive. Like, is that what it says?
Oh, man.
So it's like, I'm confused, and it's like voodoo and a sanctity and all of that. that was what our ancestors practiced.
That's what their practice.
It's not something
They didn't put
bad.
a name to a face. They
Right.
was just like, there's a God, and I'm going to praise it whichever way I feel right. And then it's crazy. It's just like, man, like, the fact that, like, people, like we were just talking about, like, they will cutthroat you until you agree.
Yes.
And it's like, why are you so conditioned to feel this way? And, like, people don't really understand that the Bible has been manipulated. The words that are in the Bible that you're looking at, the King James Version, that has been manipulated over generations. In slavery time, they would manipulate the Bible to get
to get the slaves to obey them because
Yeah.
Jesus said, girl,
Girl.
I know this.
Girl.
I'm just trying to spread the
We tryna
knowledge.
spread
like,
positive
that's all
knowledge.
we trying to do.
We just
and they
let
don't be
y'all
wanting to
know.
listen.
But it's like, if Christianity works for you,
then go for
that's
like
cool.
I don't judge.
Just don't judge anybody else, and especially when that's one of our rules. Thou shalt not judge. That's one of our commandments, and it's like you're still doing it. So that's another reason why I kind of left my actual church home, because there was a time. So I'm at Rutgers University. We just talked about that, and so it was literally on Gay Pride, the day or whatever. It was happening in New York. I was actually there. I was in church. My bad, y'all. So I was actually there celebrating because my friend, she's a part of the LGBTQ community, so I'm an ally. I like to.
Right, I'm an ally.
Yeah, I'm an ally. So I actually heard that at my church back that same day. The pastor literally gave a sermon on how if he was God, he would kill all people from that community. And I'm just like,
I don't think that's how that goes.
I don't even it was just really like I was just like, it made me cringe, and I was like, I don't think I could be a part of a congregation where I'm supposed to come together and praise and worship with a group of people who hate someone in their congregation. People literally got up that Sunday and walked out. Though it wasn't the whole entire congregation, a couple of people still got up, and that still means a lot. Yeah. It was like, that wasn't the right time, that wasn't the right place. Nor was that the right, like, you just don't do stuff like that especially when you have people looking up to you. You're supposed to be this beacon of God. You're supposed to bring this light and shed this light, but all you're bringing is darkness and negativity.
Yep. That negative energy
so
is
I'm going to stay with my
real.
witchcraft.
Thank you. Look, it's working for me. And things have been going great, okay? This manifestation.
Great.
Today's the 11/11 transit. Look, I'm feeling good.
I've been reading my pattern. I'm good.
I'm good. So let's talk a little bit more about the brand. So I was looking through your page and I saw you did something with Ashley Stewart. You want to talk about that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was actually So for Ashley Stewart, my school's offering to get a scholarship, a $5,000 scholarship. So y'all know college students. Yeah. We be having essays just lined up. So girl, I just picked out one of my essays that I had lined up, and I was like, y'all, this means a lot. And they were basically like, what does leadership mean to you? So I get in my little spiel. What leadership means. I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. And so one day, the woman called me back, and she was like, yo, your story is remarkable. We want to offer you $5,000. And I'm like, oh my God, you mean I don't have to take out another loan, y'all?
Right.
I was too gassed, and I was just like, man. And it just meant a lot, going there and actually talking with people. So it was, Ashley Stewart has a show every year where basically plus size women, they get to be in a pageant, sort of how we have Miss America and stuff like that. But sometimes plus size women are ostracized for being in these settings, so they was like, fuck it, we're gonna create our own show, and that's what they did. Is mad dope. Literally, they had salt and pepper up in there. I love salt and pepper. I was getting it. I was like, yo, they have Faith Evans. I'm like, that's my sis. It's a really good environment. And so when I was there, I was able to make connections for my brand and stuff, and it was just nothing but positivity in that room. And during that time period anyway, I had recently just started out. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get anywhere with this. And they were like, sis, keep going. Yeah. They were like, you just scratching the surface. Keep going. And I feel like everyone needs that. Everyone needs that little push of positivity and motivation. So I was glad that I was in that setting, not only to win money, but to also, meet dope people and, make connections.
Networking.
Yeah, the networking was real. It was real.
So where do you see your brand in the next 5 years?
Honestly, I see my brand sitting in everyone's dressing room before they go on stage. They're going to be saging out before they go into their stage, before they go into work. I just see my brand connecting with a lot of people because, like we said, a lot of times why people don't know about sage and stuff like that is because of ignorance.
Yep.
So that's what another reason why I like my brand is because I can enlighten people. When I'm to have these tabling events and stuff like that, a lot of times people are like, so how do you use it?
Yeah, like what is it for?
What do
like,
these oils do?
Yeah.
What is meditation? It's a lot of like, I don't know. It's not necessarily that I don't want to get into it. It's that I don't know what lines will I cross if I do so.
Right.
And so that's why I like tablings more because I like coming and like connect. So I do have an online site, but I'm more so like going in person and like talking, connecting with people. People come up to me and they'll literally tell me their whole life story like, yo, at the age of 8, my father raped me. And I'm just like, yo. And like we'll literally sit there and cry together. And I feel like that's what my whole brand is about. It's not just coming out and selling and trying to push a product and trying to get people to just be like, hey, look, I got this cute thing.
Yeah.
Like, you feel me? It's more about I'm getting healing from this while also connecting with another person. Like, it's more than that. It's about connecting. And I feel like if we had more connections, this world wouldn't be so broken.
That's a fact.
Period.
That's a fact. I feel like people are afraid to connect on that personal level because they've been hurt, because they've been this, they've been that. But the thing that's so beautiful about being able to sage and have your crystals and stuff like that is that kind of helps alleviate a lot of that stress. It alleviates a lot of anxiety. Like, I've actually suffered from anxiety, and it got really bad. And then it was just one day I was like, I'm gonna just get some crystals. And I just sat them in front of me. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna sit here and just be quiet. Like, I'm gonna just see what happens. But and like, people have to be patient with that kind of stuff too. They just expect it to work like that, and it's like
this, and
you
it's
have
like,
to pay attention to the signs. Like, little things will start happening here and there. You'd be like, oh shit, like. I did have a dream about that. Like, oh, somebody did say that to me, you know? So it's just all connected.
I feel like, honestly, like when people are like, oh, I don't know about crystals, I feel like the crystals don't really do shit. That's
They
my
don't.
thing. They don't. But it's like it's just a time for you to inflect. And I feel like that's what the whole meditation, even prayer, is about. It's about inflecting with yourself and a higher being. And I feel like that's what my whole thing is. So sometimes when people are like, oh, you praying to Oshun, this, that, and third, what are you talking about? And I'm like, it's not that I'm praying to her. It's that I'm looking up to her. I'm not only looking up to her, I'm looking up to my idea of what God is. I'm looking up to what I want in this world, what I want to manifest. What is my manifesto? Like, I'm looking up. And so it's just like, this whole journey for me is just like, y'all need to get with it and stop being ignorant.
For real,
like,
no,
real talk.
dead ass. Like, I really be telling my friends, they be like, well, I'm scared. I was like, stop being scared. Like, I had this conversation with this hairdresser, and he basically, like, read my whole life to me. Like, he read my whole life, and he was like, I'm taking fear away from you. Like, fear is an illusion. Like, we grow up with fear. And the moment you strip that fear away from you, you will see your life begin to manifest and change. And it's just like,
I swear, if I listened to my father my whole life, I would have never left the house.
Girl.
I swear.
Girl.
Women would never leave the house if they listened to their parents. I swear.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And
It's
then
crazy.
like, that goes into, like, parents being toxic.
Yeah.
And that whole thing. But I wanted to talk a little bit about your experience. Your being sexually assaulted. So I know you were very young when that happened.
Yeah, girl. When everyone hears it, they're like 15. But it's crazy because it's like, when you think about it, you're in high school. So it's like you be thinking you grown, but you're not really grown.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are just like, yo, what did you do? And it's crazy because I actually talk to my attacker still. It's crazy. I really do, y'all.
Hold on.
Girl, just take it in. Take it in. Because it ain't going to make no sense. But take it in.
I just got so many thoughts in my head right now. I'm like, wait a minute. But I'm going to let you go. I got something to say about it, but I'm going to let you go ahead.
I actually talk to my attackers. So I feel like if I wasn't into my meditation and my like outside healing, I wouldn't have been able to sit down and have that conversation with him. So after it did happen, I did seek out therapy and stuff like that. God is willing, because my parents were privileged to allow me to do that.
Right.
But I, like, one of my therapists was like, yo, have you ever just wanted to talk to him? You ain't never want to say nothing to him. And I was like, I mean, like, I've been doing my little spoken words or whatever like that. I was like, so I feel like I have talked to him. And she was like, there's nothing like physical, face to face, being there, interacting with him, seeing his emotions, and how, like, you need to talk to him. And I was like, okay. Because sometimes people don't understand that your attacker doesn't just have to be somebody random. I actually knew this person. And that's the
Did that make it worse?
I feel like that's what did make it worse is because, like, you feel like you can trust this person, and it happened around other people that I thought I could trust as well. So, yeah, essentially I was set up. Low key. So, yeah, so it's just like, so you know what? One day I was like, I hit him up. I'm like, I want to talk. He was like, okay. And it's crazy because I was going to a gender-based violence conference in D.C. to go and share my story. So I was like, you know what? I want to talk. And he was like, all right, cool. So this is when we, like, you know, we had a little iPhone 5. I was like, so we got on FaceTime, and, like, I literally just opened up about how what he did has literally essentially fucked me up. Like, yo, like, I was like, when I'm walking down the street, I clench myself together. Before I leave out the door, I don't know what I should do. Like, I was like, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I'll tell my mom I'm sick just so I don't have to go and interact with people and interact with other men. And I was like, you don't understand that what you did really affected me. And he actually opened up, and he let me know that he was actually raped.
Wow.
Hurt people hurt people. And so when he said that shit to me, yo, my whole body clenched, and I just wanted to not even just hug him. I wanted to just, like, yo, I just wanted to get back on the train and just be like, yo, I'm coming to you. And it's just like, that shit really hit home. So for him, it was like, that's how he was introduced to sex. What he was doing with me was sex. And I was like, it was baffling to me, but it's like when you decide to put yourself in someone else's shoes, you can really see that perspective. And I really was sitting there like, damn. Like,
it changes everything.
It changes everything. Now I see the social cues that he was giving off. Now I see why his breath was heavy, why he decided to go behind and take from behind. It's because he was raped as a child. That's how
he was sodomized. Wow.
Like, and it was just like, damn, like.
It's like, what can you say? So has that affected your relationship with men, like, moving forward in life?
I mean, it definitely affected my relationship with men. Like, honestly, y'all.
Well,
like,
I know it has, but, like, how? Like, how? Yeah.
I really have codependent tendencies, and I feel like a lot of people don't like to admit that, but I don't
That's
mind.
good that you know that.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, it would be like if some people don't understand what codependent tendencies is, it's basically, for instance, if your partner is like, I'm angry, you feel like their anger will never fade. So you're always like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, he's angry at me. Oh my God, I need to do something. I need to get his instant approval. I need to get gratification. I need something.
Pick me.
You feel me? Like, pick me. I need you to just, be there for me. So it's like, it's really sad, but honestly, it's like, it's better that you understand it. You see where it stems from, and you see how you can move forward. Yep. So I have codependent tendencies. I do suffer from extreme anxiety. So that's also part of it. So when they're angry at me, I get really sad. I'm just like, damn.
Like, what did I do? How do I fix it?
Damn. Like, what did I do wrong? But like, sometimes it can actually be them. And I fall into very manipulative situations and relationships. And it's very conniving sometimes. It's just like, damn. Like, like, y'all, your girl fucked up still. But I'm a burn some sage and hopefully it leave me. But yeah, definitely. So it's just like, it's really like, I'm glad that I had the conversation with him, but it was still like afterwards I was able to really see how that has affected me and what I want to do. And so I feel like each and every relationship that I enter myself in, I am growing. So I feel like that's what a lot of people don't understand, that even though trauma has come, you can still grow. It's slow.
Very slow. It's going to be painful.
Painful, hurtful, like, but it's like the more you put yourself out there to love and get love and receive love, the more you can grow and like you can actually become your true and actual self.
Yeah, no, like I posted something a couple weeks ago on my page where it says, I'm ready to do the work to love and be loved unconditionally. And it's like, what people have to understand, in order to have healthy relationships and in order to be loved and all of that, a lot of it has to do with ourselves. We have to be willing to do the work. We can't just expect somebody to come in and, like, a lot of women have the Superman syndrome where they think a man is just going to come in and fix everything. Like, your man can't come in and fix your daddy issues from when you was 8 years old. It's not going to happen that way.
Happen, baby girl.
Like,
it's just going to let you know.
It's just not. Like, you really have to take the time out to, like, really sit and like really reflect and really understand. And that's something that I had to realize, because I found myself in these toxic, abusive relationships, and I kept like wondering, like, why? And then I was like, damn,
because
my
you're
father
looking for
wasn't
them
around.
to. You be looking for people to bring you happiness.
Exactly.
When happiness needs to reside.
It comes from within.
Yeah.
It comes from within, y'all.
Collect it,
Get
y'all.
it together, y'all.
Yo, like, your ass should not be in no relationship if you're not happy with yourself. Period. If you can't make yourself, if you getting up in the morning and brushing your hair doesn't make you happy, do not go out and look for John, Jerome, or whoever else. Like, do not. Like, I'm telling y'all, because this is what happens.
Right.
Like, we get into these patterns, we're like, oh, I'm self-sufficient. I don't need anybody. I'm happy with myself. When in actuality, you hate yourself.
You're sad.
You're sad.
You're sad. And you're
miserable.
using that as a defense mechanism. Like, baby girl, you need a hug.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay to be
like,
an emotional gangster.
People think like being the alpha female is like, oh, you don't need nobody. You could do this, that, and the third. It's okay if you can run your business on your own. It's okay if you have your own money. You can fix your car. You can do all that. But at the end of the day, we are all human. We all need somebody who we can connect with on an emotional level, on a mental level. Like, we all need that. And I feel like a lot of women, especially black women, need to hear that, because we've been so programmed to be the stronger person and do everything on our own. And it's like, no, like, we can be loved.
Relax.
Relax. Chill out.
You can
like,
go sit down.
Like, bro, I tell my mother this all the time, because, oh my gosh, she just, oh my gosh, bro. It's like she be making herself mad. And it's like, what you mad for? Like, sit down. Like, she be slamming dishes, and you ain't get nobody else a chance to do it.
Exactly, because you knew you was going to do it from the beginning, but you just wanted to set me up. And it's like, yo.
Right, like.
I'm telling you, I be catching myself in one of those little tantrums daily.
Absolutely.
And I be like, Erica, you getting beside yourself. You getting beside yourself. Calm down, bring it down 5 notches, breathe.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite things. So I actually have an app, and it's called Eternal Sunshine. People need to get that. It's from this poet. His name is Londrell. I love him so much. That is my baby father, y'all. But yeah, and it's like you get like these daily like affirmations sent to your phone, and like some of them literally just be like, breathe. And I'm like, I just
You need
that.
that.
You need
You
that.
need that.
Like, especially if you're in school, even if you're not in school, you at work, you just going through shifts from shift to shift to shift.
Yeah.
And you like, yo, I need to just breathe.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll be telling you like I said, like we were saying, your happiness is within you. Search for it within you, not outside. It's like you just need those little daily affirmations to just wake yourself up.
Yeah.
You need to live. And I feel like a lot of us are not living.
Yes.
We're just existing.
And you know why? Because it is right here. This thing right here.
I'm telling you.
This thing is so, it's
I live
powerful.
I live in myself on social
media.
media.
You have to.
I literally put that timer on y'all. Y'all need to get on that timer for Instagram.
Yeah.
You can time how long you're on Instagram. I'm on Instagram for no longer than an hour.
Really?
Daily. No longer than an hour. I put that timer on as soon as it be like, you've been on an hour.
And that's it for the day.
That's it for the day. So that's why I line up my posts for my daily posting for my business. So I have that done a week in advance so that I post it and it's done. Like, you feel me? So I'm not spending more than an hour. We need to stop. Like, yo, we're really consuming everyone's energy, and we need to consume our own energy.
Girl, that consuming energy is so real. So I work in City Hall.
Oh, girl.
For 8 hours a day, bro. Ooh. I'm around so many different people. First of all, I'm the youngest one in my office.
Girl.
And it's an office full of women. So just imagine.
Just imagine the shade being thrown. Girl, I can imagine the shade being thrown.
And when I say I'm the youngest, I mean like substantially young. Like, most of these women are old enough to be my grandmother.
Yeah.
So they all going through menopause. There's only like 2 of them that's like married. Like, they just all just mean and bitter.
Why
and
you
it's
so
like,
mad?
bro, like, I'm getting a headache just thinking about it because I got to go there tomorrow. But it's just like, I found myself like almost being a product of my environment and beginning to act like them, because I started absorbing. I'm an empath, so I absorb all the energies around me. I absorb all of that, so I would just be going home just mad. Like, then you would call me and I'd be like, I don't want to talk. Like, I just be mad out of nowhere. And he'd be like, what's wrong with you? Like, you started to act like them ladies in your office. And the moment he said that, I said, oh no, this is what we not about to do. This is what we not about to do. But like, it's so. Protecting your energy is so important. It's so important. That's why, like, I'm careful, like, who I call my friends or who I call my sister, or like even things is who I let in my car.
Girl,
Like,
am I letting sit on my damn bed, girl? Because y'all be letting anybody and everybody sit on y'all bed, girl.
With the street clothes on.
What? Talk about what you got to. No, get off of my bed.
Off my bed.
I will. Yo, I hate that. I hate that.
My boyfriend has a pair of shorts at my house. He knows to put those on before he sits on the bed.
Y'all need to watch who y'all letting come in y'all spaces. Y'all just can't let everybody come to y'all energy. Like, people will use you, and that's my thing. I am an energy source. So people come to me because they know I got that energy, and they be like, okay, what can I take?
Yep.
It's never what can I bring back. And I found myself at the beginning of the semester literally depressed. And like I've been depressed before, so I felt myself slipping into sort of like this.
Do you get like seasonal depression?
Yeah.
Me
and so
too.
I was like, what is this? And it's because the people I'm letting get a hold of me. I was letting any and everybody get a hold of me, and I was filling up their cup, and they was just drinking me
They
up.
cup runneth over, and while you just sitting here, just dry.
Just dry as
just dry.
You need some Listex.
Right.
Like what? Like I was sitting there and I'm like, what is wrong? And it's because you need to stop. Like everybody can't get on with you. Everybody can't get on and bring you good stuff. Like, and that's just real stuff. Like you said, you gotta cut some people off.
You do.
Some people gotta go.
And everybody can't get in that box, y'all.
I'm telling you, if you're not on my same time, if you're not on my same flow, if you don't got the same goals, you gotta go.
You gotta go. These friends with benefits.
You gotta go. Friends with benefits, go.
Sex demons is real, y'all.
Yo, we just had a post on that. It is real.
real.
Y'all need to be mentally checking in with people you fucking. I'm telling y'all.
You're wondering why you got the yeast infection and the bacterial vaginosis, and because you're letting everybody in there.
Literally, every time
you could be clean
sex,
as
like,
a
what's
whistle.
up? Before you have sex, you need to have a talk like, oh, how was your day?
Yep.
What you do today?
Because if they mad and y'all start having sex, now you mad because you just absorb all that energy.
You ready to fight?
You
like,
ready to fight? Mind you, they good.
They chilling. They like, oh, okay, I got her energy. We out.
Nah.
About to go to Subway real quick. Like, what?
That's what we not about to do.
I'm telling you.
But on a lighter note, it's time for that dirty laundry, sis.
Ooh.
Now, we know each other personally.
Dang.
So, you got to air it out for me.
What's my dirty
I'm
laundry?
going to do a little quick drum roll.
Okay. Okay, I guess my dirty laundry is I recently just got a relationship, a very toxic relationship. And I thought it was a very healthy one. So I guess that's my dirty laundry, and nobody knows that yet. So people be hitting me up like, oh, you and your boyfriend should come here. And I'm like... And then, like, my father's having a birthday party soon. So then my family like, oh, bring him to the house. Like, my family is country as hell. They like, we got collard greens cooking up. We got everything. I'm like, no, we don't. So, yeah, and I feel like that's going to be an awkward conversation at
It's going to
dinner.
be super awkward. But look, they can't be mad at you for protecting your energy.
You can't. Y'all protect y'all energy.
Please do.
If y'all ain't hear nothing else from today, protect the energy.
That's it. I wish we could name episodes because that'd be the name of this episode.
Hashtag protect
your energy. Please, y'all. Please. But shout out your Instagram. Shout out the brand for us.
So again, my brand's Instagram is OSUNTHEBRAND. That's OSUN, OSUNTHEBRAND. And then my personal is _ology, y'all.
All right. And we are out of here. Thank you so much for coming.
I love you.
It's your girl, Rissy Riss. This is Illest Girls Next Door. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.